I now call the August 12th, 2025 meeting of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Board of Education to order. Board members Summer Nunn and Monty Witherspoon will be participating by simultaneous communication via Zoom. There being no opposition to any items on tonight's agenda, it is adopted by unanimous consent. Tonight, a few of my colleagues and I have the privilege of introducing our children to lead the board to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. I will just make a quick note that those that want to acknowledge that even though their children may not be here, I have a son that is going to 7th grade and Piedmont Middle School and a senior going to West Charlotte High School as well. And I wanted to give board member Nunn the opportunity to introduce her daughter if she would like as well.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I actually have a son who's also a rising 7th grader who's going to be at First Ward Creative Arts Middle School this year. And this is my daughter who will be a rising 3rd grader at Old Providence Elementary, Charleston.
And I don't know if Dr. Witherspoon wanted to say anything about his children as well.
Sure. My children are with me. They're just running around. And I have a 2nd grader and a preschooler.
All right, thank you. Thank you both. And I will turn to board member Easley to introduce her children that are present here with us this evening.
Good evening, everyone. My children, my daughter Alex, who is going to be a 7th grader at First Ward. We're very, very excited about that. And my son DJ, who is a 5th grader at Blythe.
And I turn to board member Liz Monterey Duval.
And I would like to introduce Isaac Duval, who's a 1st grader at Shamrock Gardens Elementary School.
All right, thank you. For board member Easley and board member Monterey Duval's children are going to lead us in tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could please stand. Whenever y'all are ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Thank you. All right, thank you. The consent agenda items have been provided in advance. Is there a motion to approve them as presented?
I move. Second.
Moved by Klein, second by Byers-Bailey. All those in favor by show of hands. And if those that are virtual can give a verbal yes or no or approve.
Yes.
All right. Madam Clerk, it is unanimous. I would like to turn to Dr. Hill for personnel appointments.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. We have 2 principal announcements this evening that are administrative transfers that happened earlier in the summer, but would like an opportunity to recognize these principals. First, we have Dr. Philip Johnson. Dr. Johnson is the new principal at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School. He has 25 years of experience. Previously, he served as the principal at Marie G. Davis, which is a K-8 school. He has a doctorate in educational leadership from Gardner-Webb University. And next, we have Mrs. Rebecca Crawford. Mrs. Crawford is going to be taking on the responsibility, in addition to Dilworth Elementary, to be the new principal at Marie G. Davis, K-8. She has 27 years of experience in education, currently serving as the Dilworth Elementary School principal, and again, assuming the students at Marie G. Davis. She has a master's degree in educational leadership from Winthrop University in Rock Hill. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Tonight, we will start with public engagement, and I'll read the rules for public comment. Only speakers who have timely signed up for public comment are eligible to speak. Speakers are not permitted to read statements or speak on behalf of someone else. Each speaker will be called to speak one at a time. Each speaker will have a maximum of 2 minutes to address the board. Each speaker may speak on any topic of their choice except individual student or personnel matters, since these matters are confidential and not appropriate for public comment. For these matters, the board encourages you to contact the appropriate department, staff member, or our board office. Speakers are welcome to offer comments or criticisms, but should refrain from personal attacks, accusations, threats, or insults. Speakers should refrain from identifying students or staff by name or providing personal addresses, emails, or any other identifying information. Profanity or any other inappropriate language will not be allowed. The board reserves the comment to cut off any speaker who violates these rules. As I call your name, please come to either podium and speak in the order that you're called. And then the first two speakers for this evening are Hope Wiley and Sabrina Reed.
Okay. Can I have them? I come tonight to ask you, for the 5th time, why girls who have been hurt by boys at school have to stay in the same classes with the boys who hurt them. Why is it okay for us to be hurt and no consequences are given to them? Why do I, a little girl, keep getting consequences? Why was I written up under educator's handbook? And it was explained to my mom as the student version of personnel files that she wouldn't have known anything happened had she not been told. Why do you feel like withholding information from parents is acceptable? Why was I told by admin that when boys like little girls, they hurt them, and I shouldn't have ran from him? Why do you feel like protecting child abusers like Jason Bissinger over children like themselves is okay? Why can the board make supportive statements about illegals yet can't say I matter when I was the one who was hurt really, really bad and did nothing wrong? Haven't you learned anything about protecting girls by now from the big girls that were hurt at Myers Park and Hawthorne? Don't we matter?
Thank you. Ms. Reed, if you could.
Question. Do we matter? That's been the question for 5 times and y'all haven't answered it. Question, do we matter? It's a yes or a no.
So I will.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Do girls matter? Yes or no?
Ms. Wiley.
Yes or no? Pick one. Yes or no? Do we matter?
Thank you for your
Yes or no? Do we matter? Pick one. One. Yes or no? Which one is
You can
it?
sit here in silence, sir, but you can't tell her she matters.
Thank you.
Is it a yes or a no?
Ms. Wiley, as you,
That's one answer. Yes
so
or no?
you're, that's your, go ahead.
That's one answer. Is a yes or a no?
You can give her answer, you can argue with her, or you can answer.
Because y'all are grown men
Oh,
and
I
grown
got it.
women.
The time will-
Y'all are
the
grown
time
men
will-
and grown women arguing with a
Thank you.
12-year-old.
Thank you, that's your time.
Why?
And so I would like to say this is not at this time, the board does not respond to inquiries. This is a time period for public comment. So just so you know, that are the rules of the board, which is standard practice with all of our elected bodies here. It is for your opportunity to make your comments. Ms. Wiley, Ms. Reed, if you can just hold 1 second, because they're together, they're different on the list, but I'm going to go ahead and call you Ms. Wiley.
Madam Chair, the safety of our children is of greatest importance. Unfortunately, it's also our greatest concern. This board has lacked the capacity to comprehend the community's needs and concerns, yet focuses on political party ideology rather than math. This board focuses on ideological social issues such as transgender rights, yet ignores women's rights, Title IX, ADA 504, Title II, and ADA rights. This board has called science low-hanging fruit, yet science and math are the backbone of innovation. It will make a mission to Mars a reality. Science, math, and reading comprehension and the all-important foundational building blocks that our children need to be successful future leaders, innovators, engineers, lawyers, scientists, doctors, law enforcement, and teachers, so forth, have been ignored by this board for years. Yet we hear about the all-familiar excuse of COVID learning loss, right? While the issues from COVID were very real, we as a community shouldn't be allowing a Board of Education and our superintendent to continue to give excuses, yet should be demanding that they focus on producing a solution with laser focus on how they're going to provide our children a world-class education that they don't have to recover from and give them an education without fear. As our educators, we're bringing handguns to Butler. Is Butler really that dangerous that the teachers now feel the need to bring weapons to school? It's crazy. We all know that CMS had an open FBI investigation in 2018, and we didn't report the violent incidents appropriately for years. Had the issues been reported appropriately, I assure you, another FBI investigation would have been triggered long before now. However, your Gestapo that's now retired, she hid all the violence from you. And why can you guys sit up here and talk about immigrants' rights and say that immigrants matter and you want them to be, included in the schools? Illegal immigrants, by the very definition, shouldn't even be here. But yet you cannot tell my daughter she matters.
Ms. Wiley, thank you. Thank you for your comments.
How would you feel?
If you have any remaining comments, you can please send them by
You don't
email.
respond.
Ma'am, thank you. Thank you.
When you ran the first
Ms.
time.
Ms. Wiley, thank you for your comments. Thank you, your time is up. Don't touch me. Ms.
I got that
Wiley, your
written
time is up. Ms. Wiley, your time is up. You are fully aware of how that you only have 2 minutes. But thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Wiley. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your comments, both Ms. Wiley's. Thank you so much. Ms. Reed.
Thank you. Big bullies, we have the right to stay. We're not being disorderly, now you are. Let her stay. We have the right to stay. We're being quiet in our seats. We have the right to stay.
Chief, let's proceed. It's fine. Right. Ms. Reed.
Thank you. I'd like to start my time by saying no human is illegal. Teachers are some of the most overworked and under-resourced workers in this country. At this exact time, yearly, teachers beg for classroom supplies on Amazon wish lists, crowdfunding websites, and business and family sponsorships. Teachers have been in need of training on how to navigate difficult circumstances in young kids' lives for decades.
Take one step back, because it's like,
Pause our time, please.
Sorry,
It's
We're
just
gonna pause
that,
it.
so it's not distorted.
we just can't hear you. Just take one step back.
like here?
Yes.
Okay. Teachers have been asking in need of training on how to navigate difficult circumstances in young kids' lives for decades. Training on how to navigate conflict, behavioral development, mental health, difficult family circumstances, and much more. They have been ignored. Teachers are asking for these resources, and instead CMS prioritizes training on how teachers can better collaborate with ICE and help them in terrorizing, kidnapping, and brutalizing men, women, and children. It feels reminiscent of the people who suggested the solution to school shootings was to arm teachers. A lackluster suggestion for a problem so structural it is a slap in the face to teachers who are with these kids 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It will never be solved with training videos on how to hold a gun or spot a proper ICE warrant. So today, I am demanding that CMS train educators to teach and help students and do the best they can to make children feel safe in schools. Don't use the resources you have to help teachers cooperate with racist ICE agents that want to tear families apart and harass students. These students are our future. Put their safety above these ICE raids. Keep ICE out of schools.
I'm going to call two names. If you can come down to both podiums, Melissa Vivaro and Jessica Peterson. Melissa, Jessica. Last call for Melissa, Jessica. Okay. Madison Roman and Caretha Blount. Okay. Madison Roman. No, it's not on here. Oh, yes. Emily Wheeler. And we'll start with you, Ms. Wheeler.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Emily Jensen Wheeler, a proud parent of a rising first grader at Charlotte East Language Academy. I also have my doctorate in educational leadership and have spent a majority of my career in public education before moving into nonprofit leadership. I think most parents would agree that our greatest concern related to our children's education is their safety. Physical, mental, and emotional safety are critical not just for our students' learning, but for their ability to thrive. My son has had a fantastic experience at Charlotte East Language Academy, and I'm so impressed with their staff and educators. As we head into a new academic year, my concerns for safety have increased exponentially. While guidance around ICE being allowed into public school spaces has come from CMS, the information does not address actual practical concerns and needs of the children and educators who will be impacted. I've called the CMS Safety Office, CMS Communications Office, and our school, and can't get answers to my two basic questions. What constitutes the lobby of the school? Is this the locked administrative office that all visitors must enter through in order to enter the building? Or once they're checked in, will ICE be allowed in the atrium or entryway where children will be visible to them? Will ICE also be allowed to carry guns while in the public areas of school grounds? And then there's the question that haunts me. How will our children be traumatized if and when they witness a teacher, a family member, or God forbid, one of their friends being taken from school by ICE? My critique is not of our school. The CELA administration is doing the best they can with the information that they have, and they've always made my child feel safe and accepted. Instead, it's the responsibility of our school board to think about, prepare for, and communicate inclusive safety needs, especially when we know some schools will be specifically targeted. So as the elected leaders who have stepped into the responsibility of ensuring our children's safety, we as parents need to know that you are prepared for the potential of what's ahead, targeted school-wide trauma. Today, I ask each of you, how can I know that my child and his 6-year-old friends will be safe when ICE enters his school? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Blount, you're next. Mr. Fountain, if you want to come down now.
May I start?
Yes.
Good evening. Good evening. I am a teacher assistant at one of the CMS schools, and I've worked with children, exceptional children, children with autism, children with learning disabilities. My experience working with children with learning disabilities is that they are taught a curriculum that is based for general ed students. Children with autism, they're nonverbal. They have sensory sensory issues. So most of the times, they're not able to comprehend a lot of the curriculums that's been taught. Like over the course of the school year, they were learning the ULS. Some of the children that I work with did not have any practical life skills, such as pulling up their pants or just general life skills. So admin would come into the classroom to critique the way how myself and other children were trying to, other teachers, how to teach these kids the ABCs when they don't know anything. They come in as empty shells. My concern is it possible that children with learning disabilities have their own curriculum that is catered to their needs? Lots of times, children with special needs are treated like they have a disease or something to that nature, and it's very heartbreaking as a future educator myself to see that our kids are just being forced to learn something that they don't understand. So that is one of my concerns as I progress in my career as wanting to be a teacher myself and work with children with special needs, that they need their own curriculums.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before Mr. Fountain, you start, Craig Reynolds. Last call from Mr. Reynolds. Brian Casher.
Well, good evening, fellow citizens. I'm Bill Fountain. I'm a candidate for the CMS School Board District 1. Let me start with a question. Why is CMS socially promoting students who haven't mastered the basics? Not only have teachers said that students are being socially promoted, but this June, Mecklenburg County Commissioner Arthur Griffin reported that about 2,100 of some 9,700 CMS graduates for the 2024 had GPAs below 2.0. He called this frightening and held leadership accountable. While it may be the school board's idea of equity, it's not mine. That's a disaster for those students, and it can have serious consequences for our community. In other words, they could have increased dependency, homelessness, and a strain on the public safety. CMS must be socially promoting students because, looking at the 2024 report card from the state, that 45% of the students are not proficient in math and a whopping 52.5 in reading. Social promotion is not merit-based, and you can't have accountability without being merit-based. It's time for a change. I propose returning to what works, and that's better behavior in the classroom, strong character formation, and back to basics, focusing on the reading, writing, and math, and not on some ideological agenda. Every child deserves the opportunity to reach their God-given potential. Since I have a couple seconds left over, I want to commend some board members, Klein, Easley, and Nunn, for their courageous vote against this $500,000 contract that, unfortunately, that the husband of that has decided to retaliate against them and to find people to run against these women in the June election or the February election. Thank you.
Brooke Weiss. Mr. Casher.
Greetings. Thank you all for what you do. I'm happy to announce today I'm starting my 35th year in the federal AHERA program supporting K through 12 schools, and I'm fully authorized to teach every discipline in that curriculum by the North Carolina Department of Health. Many parents were pressuring the superintendent due to students made ill by a CMS school building known well in advance by CMS to be a sick building. In fact, CMS issued a public remediation bid to fix the conditions known to be making children sick before CMS willfully and specifically misled the zone academic leadership and school principal about the known conditions. Due to the deception of academic leadership, I personally secretly took the previously issued CMS remediation contract spec to WSOC TV. WSOC then assigned an investigative reporter to investigate why CMS was requiring students to stay in a known sick building when CMS already issued bid documents to remediate the building known to be making children sick. WSOC's televised report gave the school principal and parents the truth, which is something I think you all want them to have, that CMS was hiding the building was sick, and CMS knew that it was sick well in advance. Students and staff were only then evacuated, watched by helicopter, evacuated from the known sick building. Subsequently, the principal had the sick building rightfully removed from her campus, but only when armed with the truth. Many CMBOE policies were violated, business as usual, to my horror and disdain, to make this nightmare happen, and happen repeatedly at CMS. To be clear, I have never been part of willful negligence in my 35-year career serving schools and school children, even with a signed CMS promotion in my possession, still to this day. This is the tip of the iceberg. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
And I have a written statement in more detail for the clerk.
Thank you. Before you start, Ms. Weiss, Zachary Thomas. You may begin.
My name is Brooke Weiss, and I have been the chapter chair of Moms for Liberty Mecklenburg for 4.5 years. I'm here to talk about a few things, and the first is something that Ms. Thelma Byers-Bailey is doing that the public has a right to know about. She's inviting the candidate that she endorsed before the signing period was even over for the seat that she is giving up to the Board of Education. She's inviting someone that she endorsed to events where she's allowed to invite a +1. If she's allowed to do that, then the candidate's opponent should also be allowed to attend all of these official events as well. It's not fair, and unfortunately, there is no oversight for this board, but voters have a right to know what Byers-Bailey is doing. Haynes isn't her wife or her partner, and these invitations are highly inappropriate. On Monday, Ms. Byers-Bailey, the candidate that she endorsed, and the board chair held a panel talking about the community school model. Before a community model can even be considered, students need to be reading and doing arithmetic at grade level. The data shows this district is nowhere near achieving that goal yet, so taking on additional responsibilities is irresponsible. All this is doing is making schools like a babysitter. Attendance should be required. Not requiring attendance sends the wrong message. If workers don't show up for work for several days, they get fired. No employer is going to pay someone without that person going to work. Students need to be given the grade that they deserve, and parents need to be held accountable for truancy like they used to be. Lowering standards is not the answer. We get what we expect and what we tolerate. Adults, that is the parents, teachers, principals, admins, Board of Education, and et cetera, are failing students. No one is to blame but the adults. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you start, Mr. Thomas, Dana Allison. Okay. Next is Katie D. Katie D.
She just stepped to the restroom, actually.
Okay, so we'll wait a second. Mr. Allison.
Good evening. I'm here today to share a sentiment held by many of us here in Charlotte. Charlotte Mecklenburg schools should not be cooperating with ICE. Schools are meant to be a safe place for students. Immigrant students and students who are children of immigrants should not have to come to school afraid that they may be kidnapped or harassed or intimidated by dangerous, masked, unidentified armed men raiding and stalking school halls. Parents should not have to worry when picking their kids up from school whether they may get taken or find out that their children have been taken. A school is a place of learning, a place of teaching, a place where our children need to feel safe and protected. To allow ICE agents into schools is to betray the trust of the students and the trust of your community. A school district where students live in fear and don't feel safe at their schools is a failed school district. It is the duty of everyone who works for the school district to serve the students, their families, and their community, and to protect the students, their families, and community. Not to serve ICE. Not to protect ICE. I call on any school official or faculty or staff member who would rather serve ICE than our students to resign and step down from their positions immediately. If you're going to work for your community, then you work for your community, for your students and their families, for the people. That's who you serve. I call on everyone here to do the right thing, because Charlotte demands ICE out of our schools. Thank you.
Katie D.
Katia. Katia.
Oh, Katia. Okay, look, I thought that was E. Sorry about that. Katia D. Is how it's listed. Kaylin Arias, I just want to call you down if you're here. Kaylin Arias. All right. Myra Trinidad. Katia.
I hope that all of you feel shame and disgust with yourselves for betraying innocent children. I feel ashamed and disgusted to have to stand here today and ask a room of grown adults to have empathy for our children. Children they are supposed to protect and serve. You guys have failed hundreds of immigrant children and their families. Schools are supposed to be sanctuary places where children do not fear being ripped apart from their family members. Yet here we are asking you to do the right thing. It is shameful that we have to beg grown adults to see the humanity of all children, whether undocumented or not. As an immigrant child who grew up with the fear of coming home to an empty house, it is a shame that nothing has changed. And that years later, other children are being subjected to the endless loop of fear and despair that comes from being an immigrant. Trauma that stays with you for life. I'm angry for these innocent kids and families, and every single one of you should be outraged too. Immigrants, families already face serious adversities, and for this county to add to their pain and worries, it is disheartening and truly evil. I hope you all go home and feel remorse for the choice you all decided to make. I hope that you guys gain the empathy and care to protect all of our children and not just the ones you all deem worthy. It is our duty as adults to protect our children, not pick and choose which kids we will protect. Do better. As Leviticus 19:33-34 says, when a foreigner resides with your land, you must not oppress him. You must treat the foreigner living among you as a native born and love him as yourself, for you were foreigners in that land. Thank you.
Myra. I just want to do Kaylin Arias one more time. Okay. Alexander Fong. Miss Trinidad.
Good afternoon. My name is Myra. I was born here in Charlotte and attended Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools from kindergarten to 6th grade. Throughout many of those years, I had a safe learning environment, something that every kid should have. However, all of that changed in 2017 during Trump's first presidential term. I was in 5th grade attending Hidden Valley Elementary, a school that had mostly Hispanic kids. When Trump's first term began, my classmates and I were terrified. We heard the fascist and racist lies about our families and the threats to take us away from them. We were all scared of ICE coming into our schools and taking us. We were scared of ICE coming for our parents. We began fearing going into school because we didn't know what could happen. That same fear we felt in our classroom was felt all over the country. We were all scared kids in the classroom. Our safe learning environment was put in jeopardy. After Trump's first term ended, a lot of us that lived through that fear could laugh about our trauma. We reflected on how outrageous it was that we, as kids, couldn't focus on our learning because we feared being kidnapped from school by ICE agents. But at least we could laugh about it because it was all over, or so we thought. We never thought that kids would be put in that same danger again, many years later. No kid should have been in danger in the first place. Now we're in 2025, and I'm seeing kids live that same debilitating fear. That families are being harassed all across the country. Schools should be a sanctuary place where kids can go to learn and feel safe. Schools shouldn't be places of fear. Kids should never be scared of going into school. CMS is now allowing ICE agents to enter parking lots, waiting areas, and even school lobbies. ICE agents shouldn't be allowed inside school under any circumstance. CMS has a duty to protect its families, and they are failing to fulfill it by preparing to cooperate with ICE.
Thank you. John Covington? Mr. Brown? Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alex. I'm a resident here in Charlotte, and I've come to speak on my deep concern for our student safety in our public schools due to the threat of ICE on their campuses. A few weeks ago, I heard this board reissued protocols regarding ICE encounters on school campuses. I was shocked to learn that ICE agents have free access to school lobbies, parking lots, and other public areas to conduct their activities. While some may present this policy as just dealing with our current situation, I say it gravely misrepresents the danger ICE presents to students and their families in our county. A simple question reveals this danger. Where does ICE take people they kidnap off our streets? The answer, detention centers many rightly characterize as concentration camps where people are deprived of basic human rights and dignities. For years, immigrant children in state custody face wide-ranging abuses, are subjected to unsanitary conditions, and deprived of access to food and water. The threat to immigrant children is even greater now as the Trump administration expands its deportation agenda. Just 3 months ago, it began the process to end its legal obligation guaranteeing children in its custody basic standards of housing and access to food and water and clothing. Across our country, regular citizens step up every day to defend our immigrant friends and neighbors, whether that be through Know Your Rights campaigns or community defense networks. You, as local school leaders, should take equal, if not more, action to protect our students from the violence and terror dished out by Trump and his ICE thugs. In Mecklenburg County, the decision to board the school bus in the morning shouldn't determine if a family stays together or is ripped apart. ICE does not belong in our schools.
Omar Mazouk. Mr. Covington.
Good evening. My name is John Covington. I am a high school graduate of East Mecklenburg High School. As a former student, I could say there are a lot of problems in the CMS, from like teachers being overworked, safety, and on the safety issue, what will exacerbate that is ICE agents on our campuses. Undocumented students and their families already fear for themselves and their loved ones, and we can see that playing out with a parent being taken at East Language Academy, and like when he was nabbed, like taking his kid to school. How does that promote a environment where kids can do their best and learn? That is, all that promotes is an environment of fear and paranoia. And as like we have all seen that ICE has shown their indecency like all throughout like the country, going into people's homes with no warrants and breaking people's windows and dragging them like away from their families. And I don't want to see my friends be dragged away because of paperwork or because some ICE agent thinks they look like an immigrant. What I want this school board to do is to not cooperate with ICE, protect our students and their families, whether it be at the school bus, or anywhere in the city where they can. And not doing so is a failure to this community and to this city. Thank you.
Jamil Ware. Mr. Marzuk.
So I see every single one of you sitting here, and I know that like we started this conversation here, this meeting, you mentioned, Mr. Chair, you mentioned some people who are gaining in new positions, and you said how they have a master's. So I know all of you started at some point in your life gaining masters and trying to get to a big position like the one you're in today. And I know after a while, we tend to get groomed into what we're doing, and we tend to lose or become lazy in what we're doing and lose interest, especially when we see stuff not going the way we want. We start going with the flow. So here's the deal. Guys, I come from overseas, and we had a great curriculum that is based on America's old curriculum. What you have today is horrible. It's very bad. So guys, do a better job. But since the elephant in the room today is ICE, I'm gonna do the job for you, and I'll give you practical solutions. So do training for every single teacher. Mandatory training. The principal should be the last resort that the teacher goes to and tell her, hey, I just want to take a child, and question him in the presence of his parents. The principal should be the last line of defense. We should go through multiple teachers who are trained to handle the situation. So training, step number one, I know one of you disagrees with me, but step number one should be, if an ICE agent comes in and he's asking for a child or is saying, is he here today? Under federal law, he is not, the teacher or she are not allowed to speak about any personal knowledge about this child. Second thing, if ICE uses HB 138 as a way to get some information or to take the student out, the teacher should say, we need a judicial paper from a judge. And this way we could protect our kids. I know you're not senators, so I'm just giving you practical solutions to do your best to keep these children behind the closed doors and away from trauma. Thank you.
Mr. Ware.
Yes, good evening. I'm here to speak out against ICE being in our schools. Schools should be a place of learning and trust, not fear, policing, and intimidation. However, so-called school resource officers and now ICE are being given direct presence in our schools, turning what should be a safe haven into a dystopian space that threatens student well-being. ICE does not help students learn. All ICE does is sow distrust between students and adults. It does not support education, and it does not protect children. When ICE comes to a school to detain a child, it is not traumatic for only the student, but everybody who is forced to witness it. Schools are supposed to be a safe space where students can grow, learn, and build community with one another. But with ICE present, those spaces are transformed into spaces of fear and surveillance. The presence of school resource officers often compounds this harm. For many immigrant students, seeing uniformed armed officers in the hallways triggers the same fear that they or someone they love could be targeted. Instead of feeling supported, students are criminalized. This constant anxiety chips at their ability to focus, to trust their teachers, and to feel the sense of safety that every child deserves. A student should never have to wonder whether walking into school may lead to them being torn apart from their family. When ICE detains a student, they strip away their fair chance in life. By allowing ICE and police in schools, we are complicit in snatching away a child's future. By funding school resource officers, students are criminalized in ways that makes them not even want to show up. That funding can be used to equip staff with the tools and training they need to cultivate a healthy learning environment. By allowing these practices to continue, it sets a dangerous precedent going forward and puts student safety at risk.
Thank you. That concludes our public comments for this evening, as no one else has signed up in advance to speak.
Refuse unjust orders.
I now turn to
From schools. Refuse unjust orders. Ban ICE from schools. Refuse unjust orders. Ban ICE from schools.
Ma'am.
Refuse.
Thank you. Ma'am, thank you.
Refuse unjust orders. You have the power. It's in your hands.
Ma'am, thank you.
The children's blood is on your hands.
I turn to Dr. Hill.
Blood is on your hands.
Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, the question that I have before the board is, when public comments or when people sign up for public comments, do they have to provide their email addresses?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I turn to Dr. Hill for a report on voluntary separations and promotions through August 12th, 2025.
As presented.
I turn to Dr. Hill for the 24-25 Equity Committee Annual Report.
As presented.
I turn to Dr. Hill for the 24-25 Student Outcomes Focused Governance Goal 4 Interim Measures 4.1 and 4.2 Monitoring.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, and good evening. Before we get into our SOFG report tonight, I would like to introduce two individuals to highlight our Goal 4 initiatives. This summer, initiatives allowed rising seniors from Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools to take advanced automotive classes in partnership with Central Piedmont Community College and local business partners, helping them fast-track their careers.
Good
evening.
Chairperson, members of the board, and guests. My name is Damon Wilson, and I serve as a Career Technical Education Coordinator for this district. This summer, 17 CMS students had the opportunity to jumpstart their careers in the automotive field through Central Piedmont's Accelerate to Success program, made possible by the generosity of the Bissell Valentine Legacy Foundation, Faison Enterprises, the Marcanis Foundation, and the Charlotte 2 Bank. During the summer, students engaged in college-level courses covering transportation systems, basic electrical systems, and climate control. In addition to tuition coverage, the program provided daily lunch, a weekly stipend, transportation assistance, and during the completion ceremony at the end of the course, a full professional craftsman automotive toolkit to help launch their careers. This program represents the best of what's possible when education, industry, and community partners come together. It not only equips students with marketable skills, but also accelerates their pathway to a successful career. One of our outstanding participants is Caleb Brown, a rising senior from Myers Park High School and former MyApp intern. Caleb embraced this opportunity, excelled in the coursework, and gained experiences that will serve him well into the future. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Caleb to share his experiences and the impact this program has had on him personally, and why it's such a valuable model for future students.
Hello, my name is Caleb Brown. I'm a rising senior at Myers Park High School. I want to share my experience in the automotive school program at CPCC in the partnership with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. When I first joined, I didn't know much about working on cars, but throughout the program, I learned so many valuable skills, not just about vehicles, but about life. I earned industry-recognized certifications, got hand-on experience working on real cars, and even learned practical skills like changing a tire, checking oil, and replacing my window wiper blades. One of my favorite experiences was learning to solder wires together, making them clean, solid connections, and keep the car's electrical system running like new. And I can't forget the day that they gave me my very own 4-tier toolbox. My dad is officially jealous. My setup is better than his. I also received a stipend which helped me cover my expenses, plus lunch every day and free Uber rides from school and back, removing a lot of barriers that can keep students from opportunities like this. This CTE program is more than just a technical training. It's about building confidence and independence. Kids like me get the chance to see how automotive skills connect to real careers in everyday life. For future jobs, this experience is valuable.
Sorry, hold on one second. Can you pause for a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Media, you're missing this. Thank you.
For future students, this is an experience is valuable because it opens doors to jobs, to self-sufficiency, and to a deeper understanding of how things work. It's not just about fixing cars. It's about gaining skills that will last a lifetime, and maybe even keeping your mom's car out of the shop. Thank you for allowing me to share my experience tonight.
Mr. Wilson and Mr. Brown, thank you so much for being here. Caleb, I'm so sorry I called you Caleb Green. That was in my notes, but you know what I think? We were thinking because green is Myers Park's colors. Is that what it was? Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here tonight.
So I think that you have to give me some difference with this, board member. So I think what was missed was that this young man, along with 17 other students, were with a partnership with CPCC as well as Hendrick Motors, allowed these students to earn this certification and, as he said, provide tools. And they made sure they could reach that campus every day and provided them lunch. So they provided them Ubers. So I think y'all missed that.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thank you so much for the opportunity, board members, to allow us to highlight great examples of what's happening in our schools every single day. And again, want to thank this board for setting your 4 goals that are reflective of the vision and values of this community. So thank you so much for your courageous leadership. This monitoring report is focused on Goal 4, which is interim measure 4.1 and 4.2. And the goal is to ensure that students graduate from high school either enrolled, enlisted, or employed. Tonight's report will share projected 2024-25 Goal 4 performance. This is currently unofficial data. The official data will be available from the state during the fall of 2025. We will report on the final official 24-25 Goal 4 data at the November 18th Board of Education meeting. I would like to begin by providing a general overview of Goal 4 and the subsequent indicators. Indicators in detail are shown here, and tonight's monitoring report is focused on the 2024-25 10th and 11th grade students. Within the upcoming slides, we will begin to look at Goal 4 data relating to 10th through 12th grade students. Please keep in mind that at the time of the creation of this report, confirmed data for last school year has not been yet distributed to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools for specific indicators or sub-indicators. Therefore, raw numbers and/or percentages may not accurately reflect the full end-of-year 2024-25 total. Once confirmed, this is most prominent within 10th grade students, as the lack of confirmed data weighs more heavily on annual percentages due to the inability for those students to meet other indicators. I would also like to point out that for indicators 6 and 7, which are credentials and concentrators, we generally do not receive official data from DPI until late fall and early winter. Now let's look at this year's 12th grade students. Based on the most recent data available at the time of the creation of this report, 78% of the 24-25 12th grade students met at least one Goal 4 indicator. Based upon our estimation of the graduating cohort, we project that for Goal 4 performance, we will exceed our goal target of 76% by 2 percentage points. Therefore, we are on track to achieve this annual target for the 24-25 school year. Of the current 12th grade students expected to be rostered within the 24-25 school year, I'd like to provide you the breakdown of the indicator attainment. 47% for grade level proficient, 42% for SAT, ACT, 42% for higher education or college credit, 2% for ASVAB, 4% for JROTC, 21% for credentials, and 42% for concentrators. Now let's look at the 24-25 10th grade students that are expected to be rostered for next school year. Based on the most recent data available at the time of this report created, 37% of current 10th grade students have reached at least one Goal 4 indicator. As discussed previously, it should be noted that this data is not final, as we await official data from DPI. I also want to point out that at this time, we do not have confirmed biology end-of-course scores. Therefore, the only students notated as reaching Goal 4 Indicator 1 were students who reached this mark during the previous school year. Of the current 10th grade students expected to be rostered within the 26-27 cohort, you can see how we're performing in terms of indicator attainment. Now let's look at the 11th grade students that are expected to be rostered for this coming school year. Current projections, get caught up here. Current projections indicate that 71% of current 11th grade students have reached at least one Goal 4 indicator, while we expect this percentage to increase as the 24-25 school year data is finalized over the coming months. Current projected performance is 2% under the 24-25 annual target of 73%. Of the current 11th grade students expected to be rostered within the 25-26 graduating cohort, you can see the current, or projected, I should say, indicator attainment. I now turn it over to Chair Sneed to continue with the Goal 4 Student Outcomes Focused Governance Monitoring Report discussion.
Board members, we'll follow our usual cadence. Thank you, Dr. Hill, for that report, and looking backwards at our board goals. Board membership.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hill, for this. And many of my questions you answered. We don't have the current data. And all throughout this report, I kept saying, well, I don't need to ask those questions. We don't have them yet. But what I do want to look at is grade level proficiency. You mentioned, I think it was 47% for our 12th graders, but and they're gone, right? And then grade level proficiency, as I look at our, I think this is our 11th graders. So we have about 55% not on grade levels. That says, how are we gauging that when we talk about reaching these goals? Those that are struggling with being on grade level.
Well, one of the things that I want to make clear, and I'm looking at my team to confirm, that these numbers are not duplicated numbers. So it's possible that is that correct? It's possible, this is not saying that 47% of our 12th grade students are grade level proficient in those content areas. That's not what that's saying. Yeah, it's not saying that. What it's saying is because the numbers would be much higher. Several of these students may have met more than one indicator.
Right.
So this is just showing where those students fell out in terms of indicators.
Those that did make
That's correct.
Not those that didn't. We don't have that.
That's correct. Because this report is not about students being grade level proficient, but that's one of the indicators that the students have to meet.
Right.
So that's not what this data is saying. Just want to make sure that that's clear.
And
I know that can be a little confusing.
It is, because grade level proficiency is important in any of our goals we're looking at. I'm going to stay right there and wait, because I think I'm going to come back, because it's a totally different question, so I'm going to stop right there.
Is it looking backwards?
Yeah, still looking backwards.
Well, just go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As I look at, when we talk about, mine is on ACT and SAT scores, and I'm trying to remember what page that was on. Oh, that's on page 17. How did they look at the implementation plan? I heard something about this from some parents and students about scheduling for the individual schools pre-ACT, I guess, prep time. Were these schedules looked at by the school administration, or was it looked at as a district? Was this like each school made their own plan, and how did that plan fare out in terms of how some students or schools did with ACT?
Yes, so schools were required to turn in their implementation plan, so it was monitored at the district level.
Yeah, because I heard questions about like if they were seniors and they were ready to graduate, but they were asked to stay and be involved in their ACT prep time or classes.
Well, the ACT is administered in North Carolina during a student's junior year.
Right.
So a student may or may not choose to take the ACT again their senior year, depending on what their post-graduation plans are. Of course, in North Carolina and across the country, there are several schools that do not require an ACT score for college admission. So we wouldn't necessarily be going after all students to retake ACT because it may not appropriately align with their post-graduation plans.
Okay.
Students may have a high enough GPA that they're not even going to submit an ACT score if they're going to a four-year college.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Backwards looking. Vice Chair Rankin?
Looking, I think it's on page, I'm on page 26, the first page of the appendix. Can you speak to, looking at the different student groups, looking backwards, what strategies or intentionality was used, or highlight some of those to where we increase in just about all the categories where all the students have received at least one indicator. Can you talk through strategies that were used to show those increases and how those can be duplicated possibly in the future?
Yes, so when we talk about our strategy is really about making sure that all students are informed about their options and that all students have equitable access to information so they know what their opportunities are. One thing that I do want to caution on all of these data sets, especially these that we're taking a look at the student groups, there's a big yellow caution sign on there. This is not reflective of all the data that's currently collected, so some of it's skewed. But to answer your question around specific strategy for all students, we're just making sure that we're working really hard to make sure that all students are informed. And so what that looks like is intentionality anywhere from the way high school principals and school staff are creating their schedules to make sure that CTE courses are not just fillers to plug in holes, but students actually have the opportunity to be a concentrator and complete an entire pathway. We know that when students complete a CTE pathway and become a concentrator, they have the opportunity to take the ACT work keys, and if they receive a silver, gold, or platinum, that it also translates to a Tier 2 credential. So we're being really intentional about that. We're being really intentional in terms of making sure that every student that is touching an individual student's schedule is clear on what that student wants to do post-graduation and that they're set up for success. So in other words, not just getting a sheet of paper and just saying, these are the graduation requirements that you need and kind of checking them off, that these, it's just random, being really focused, because with all the electives, we can make sure that we're setting up a student for success for their post-secondary plans. And then the next thing that I would just call out as a strategy is the partnership that we have with Central Piedmont Community College. We have shared college and career coaches that are in several of our schools. And those people are in addition to the typical counseling team that's taking a look at students. So making sure that students have access to advanced coursework through our Career and College Promise program.
Thank you.
Looks backwards or forward?
It could go it could go either way, I think.
Hold that thought, this is backwards. Okay. Board Member Klein. I'm sorry, it looks like you wanted to.
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Like a tennis match.
Yep, sorry.
Dr. Hill, looking back at the year, do you think that the counselors coming into ninth grade, with the students coming in, had a better purpose of guiding? And how did they do that this year?
Yeah, so specifically for high school, this past school year is year one of implementation of the strategic plan. It's also the first year that we have had our counselors come back for an 11th month. So we have an additional month of employment. So one of the things that was a huge focus last year was that every student started their high school, on day one, had a schedule, a completed schedule I visited several high schools, and there were very few students that didn't have a schedule, and they were working to make sure that they had a schedule. There has been a lot of awareness and collaboration, but we have a lot of work to do in terms of making sure that we are really closely looking at what students have identified in terms of their career interest survey and aligning that with their actual schedule. I cannot say enough about how important a master schedule is and a student's individual schedule is to help them graduate, not just graduate, but graduate to be enrolled, enlisted, or employed. A lot of times, as I mentioned earlier, we might just be checking things off just to get kids graduated, to finish, but we're never going to meet these indicators if we're not really strategic in making sure that students, if this is what you want to do, this is the path to get there. So it's a work in progress, doing a lot of really good work around that. I do want to call out Brett Buchanan. Is he here tonight? Hey, Brett. Brett is our CTE Executive Director, and he has really, I don't know if I'm going to say caused havoc, but really trying to upend a lot of the ways that we have scheduled in the past, and really been insistent that we're offering complete pathways at our high schools and not, like I said, CTEs just as an elective filler.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Board Member Eason?
I think mine's more forward.
Okay.
I think mine's.
All right, so I'm going to transition to board membership because she thinks she has a hybrid question, but it may move us
Mine's a little
forward.
hybrid too.
So, board membership.
Right. I'm looking at indicator 3, page 19, college credit, advanced placement, Cambridge, and international baccalaureate. As I looked at these, my question was, as you talked about, growth here in these areas, is training for teachers. Do we have teachers that are in an IB, for example, IB trained, are they Cambridge trained? And as we talk about that, helping to promote these programs, how is that looking now in the district?
Yeah, so we have focused heavily in terms of alignment and making sure that there are district support members that can support all of our choice areas. So in this case, specifically IB, Cambridge, what are the requirements? What should they look like? What was apparent even before we did our Magnet Schools of America review is that there were a lot of inequities across the district in all programs, but as we're talking about this tonight, specifically our IB programs, our Cambridge programs. Some of them were IB or Cambridge in name only. And so, they had to do some things to get certified, so I just want to be clear on that. It wasn't a fake certification, but in terms of the level of implementation, it varied. So again, Dr. Balknight has done a really good job with the team, making sure that there are very clear people that are focused on making sure that we're implementing across the district with a high level of excellence, and that there are standards and that we're meeting those standards. And that includes everything from training teachers, doing walkthroughs to level set. The other thing that has actually happened as we move in, this is forward facing, so I guess you said it was hybrid.
Yeah.
That we're doing moving into this school year is Dr. Balknight has realigned our assistant superintendents of school performance, either elementary, middle, or high. So for example, the assistant soup has all of the IBs together, so that way the assistant soup is really clear when they're going in school to school, that they know what to look for, they know what to expect. Because if it's spread out amongst 3 people, so if you have IB with this person, IB with this person, and IB with this person, they're going into those schools and they're not ever talking horizontally. They only have one perspective, and that's the school that they're responsible for. Now, with the SPA responsible for all Cambridge or all IB, they understand what the expectations are and able to monitor that. And that's really important as the principal supervisor and the support.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry. That's okay. Board Member Easley.
So mine kind of jumping back just a little bit, a hybrid between both the last two questions. So you mentioned with Board Member Clyde's question that this was the first year that you were implementing this type of, you know, right, our strategic plan, right? And this was also the first year that our counselors were there for 11 months. So that's what I'm referring to. Have you taken your team, not you, right, to debrief with those counselors to see how this year went and how we can take their feedback from actually doing it and improve it for next year or years after that?
I'm not sure if that's happened yet, but it is our new model for continuous improvement. Thank you for attending the leadership convocation a couple of weeks ago. If you'll recall, I talked a little bit about continuous improvement. Previously or currently, it's push down, push down, push down. And we've talked a lot about the importance of having an understanding for the people that are closest to the work. So really a push-pull model and really getting their feedback. So I'm not sure if that has happened yet. I've not been briefed on that. If it hasn't happened, it will be happening.
Thank you.
Looks like that is all of our board members' questions. So now I turn to Dr. Hill for the CMS back-to-school presentations.
All right, well, get excited, everybody. We're so excited. Early colleges started yesterday, and middle colleges is their first day of school. And first day of school for our students that are on the traditional calendar is just in a few weeks. So at this time, I'd like to call Dr. Ingrid Medlock, who is our Chief of Staff and Chief of Community Engagement, as well as Beth Thompson, who is our Chief of Strategy and Innovation, to the podium to share our back-to-school report.
Madam President, I think Ms. Nunn was trying to get your attention.
I am so sorry.
Sorry, I didn't see. Was it board member Nunn?
I had a question, but we can move on at
No,
this
no,
point. It's
it's
okay.
fine.
I'll follow up later. It's
You
fine.
sure?
Yeah. I can follow up
Okay.
later.
Sorry,
I didn't see you.
I also couldn't find the raise hand thing.
Okay.
It was buried in reactions. So.
All right,
Dr.
good
Medlock.
evening. Good evening, Chair Sneed, Vice Chair Rankin, Superintendent Hill, and board members. We are excited to share with you and the greater Charlotte community important information about the opening of the 25-26 school year. This is a school year that, of course, promises endless possibilities for every student. Tonight, we will present a very brief overview of Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, including opportunities to prepare our students to be leaders of tomorrow. We will then share how families can prepare for the first day of school and how our community can partner, volunteer, and engage with our schools this school year. As you know, this is the CMS way. This slide shows our CMS placemat. Endless possibilities definitely start with us. Shown here are our mission, vision, and core beliefs, accompanied by our goals and our guardrails, which reflect the vision and values of the community, all upheld by 4 pillars of excellence. We remain committed to delivering on excellence without exception. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is the second largest public school district in the state of North Carolina, and we are the 16th largest district in the United States of America. We serve approximately 142,000 students across 185 schools. The size of our district allows us to provide many personalized school choice options for students while maintaining the warm, small town feeling within our 11 school performance areas. In addition to CMS having the best educational options in public ed, we place safety as a top priority by having our own CMS police department with 245 dedicated team members and a brand new police chief, Chief Jonathan Thomas. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is proud of our talented teachers, student-centered instruction, kindergarten through 12th grade visual and performing arts programming, hands-on learning, honors, advanced, and college coursework opportunities, along with 70 career pathways and program choice offerings. In speaking of our talented teachers, we've hired or welcomed back 9,057 educators for the 25-26 school year. 266 were trained in-house this year as part of our own CMS teaching residency program. Over 700 will attend Crown Academy, our comprehensive onboarding experience for new teachers and those new to CMS. We are currently 97.4% staffed for instructional roles, averaging 1.3 vacancies per school. That's roughly 55 less vacancies compared to last school year at this time, highlighting the fact that we have new and innovative recruitment methods. There are 243 vacant instructional positions across the district currently, and we will continue to fill our vacancies year-round with our recruitment efforts. Plans have been created to make sure that we're providing high-quality instruction from a licensed teacher to all of our students. Now, while we are celebrating a fantastic start to the school year for our early and middle colleges, they started school yesterday, our students on the traditional calendar are preparing for the first day of school on Monday, August 25th. So let's talk about how to get ready. We're going to discuss how to register and enroll, how to request bus transportation, how to communicate with your child's school, how to receive school notifications, and how to review your child's teacher, schedule, attendance, grades, and other important information. If you're joining Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools for the first time, it's important to start by registering for school. We encourage you to register as soon as possible to guarantee that your child will have transportation and a class schedule on the very first day. We're thrilled to share that new this school year, parents or guardians can complete the school registration process completely online, from any location where there is internet access, including from your very own home. If you choose to register online, you can provide all necessary information for your child and upload any required documents by simply taking a picture and uploading them into the platform. If it would be helpful to have someone to help you complete the required paperwork, then feel free to complete your registration at school, any school campus in CMS. They have kiosks ready and prepared for you to register. You can schedule a virtual appointment online if that's what you so desire. You may also register by scheduling an in-person appointment with the CMS Student Placement Department, but please, whatever you do, don't wait. We would like to warmly welcome all of our children during open house and on the first day of school with a prepared schedule, classroom, and outstanding teacher. Registering right now helps to make that happen. If your child would like bus transportation and if you live within the transportation zone of your child's school, it's time to complete the school year's ridership form. It's extremely important to let us know if your child is planning on riding the school bus. It helps us to have a bus stop ready and waiting to ensure your child's safe travel to and from school on the first day and beyond. Once your child is registered and assigned a bus and a bus stop, download the Here Comes the Bus app. You can download this app on your mobile device. This app will help you track your child's bus each morning and afternoon. It is also helpful to become familiar with the Alpha Route portal. This allows you to communicate with our transportation department about your child's assigned bus or bus stop. You can access both the Here Comes the Bus app and the Alpha Route portal by clicking on the links on this slide or by visiting our district website. Finally, you can also pick up your child's bus transportation information at open house, if that's preferred. Please don't forget to check out the Parent-Student Transportation Handbook with great information for you to review prior to the first day of school. Not sure what just happened. Our school district and your child's school have already started sending out important back-to-school information via our district's approved communication tool, Parent Square. After downloading the Parent Square app on your mobile device and signing in, you can receive up-to-date information in multiple languages. The app stores these messages, so if you need to refer back at any time to the messages, you can do so. They'll be stored right there for you. The messages are about classes, school events, sporting events, special district announcements, and much more. Don't miss out on any back-to-school information. Download the Parent Square app now. For your convenience, we have directions right here in this slide presentation, and you can also use the QR codes for an Android and/or an Apple device. New this school year is our two-way communication tool called Let's Talk. This communication tool provides the opportunity for you to ask questions and provide feedback to your child's school. When you visit your school's webpage on the district website, click on Contact in the upper right-hand corner of the page, and you'll be able to fill out the Let's Talk contact form. You'll be able to enter a question, leave a comment, share a concern, or provide overall feedback on various topics related to your child's success. That information will be routed to the appropriate person who will provide a timely response. Once your message has been answered, you'll also be asked for your feedback on the quality of the response. This gives us great data so that we can continually evaluate the strength of our customer service to our parents and our community members. This will help us make any needed adjustments to ensure that everyone receives the CMS Crown experience.
This year, we'll have a new student information system called Infinite Campus. This change was made by the state of North Carolina, and we, along with all the other districts across North Carolina, have been preparing for this for a long time. Similar to Power School last year, you can find announcements, assignments, attendance information, grades, your child's schedule. Those just launched yesterday, so it's a popular app right now, and so much more. Visit www.cmsk12.org/Infinite Campus for more information. Once you've downloaded the Infinite Campus app, you'll need to create your very own account called the Infinite Campus Parent Portal in order to access your child's information. This portal allows you to sign on and access your child's information safely and securely. It's now available to create. In fact, as of Monday, we had 12,352 students who already have a parent or guardian attached to a Parent Portal account. We ask parents to really carefully follow the instructions on this slide and also on the Infinite Campus webpage. Make sure to include your student's full legal name, not just the name that your child goes by, in order to create the count. You'll also need your child's student ID number, and that can be located on the Parent Square app. One thing important to note is any adult who's previously been in a system in relationship to your child, such as like an emergency contact, may show up in your Infinite Campus Parent Portal. This does not mean that anyone has access to your student's data or can access or create an account. We do encourage parents to review that information really carefully, remove any adults from the list, and if you need any assistance, please reach out to your child's school. Most importantly, we say don't delay. You want to make sure you have this downloaded before open house next week so you know you can review your child's teacher, your child's schedule, and you're ready for open house and know where to go both during that open house and also on the first day of the school year. One more important thing that this app can do, if you have ever been a parent working on back-to-school forms and you thought your hand might just fall off from filling out all those forms, there is great news for you. This year, for the very first time, those forms are all digital. Yes, you heard correctly. Parents now have the convenient option to complete all of the annual required back-to-school forms online in the Infinite Campus parent portal once they've created their accounts. These provide really important information for your child prior to the start of the school year, and it's critical that you complete them prior to the first day of school. Don't delay, download today. As the school year begins, CMS is continuing to build on our thoughtful, phased approach to AI implementation, grounded in our district's AI vision and guiding principles. This work has been shaped by input from more than 10,000 students, families, and staff, reflecting a strong commitment to community voice. AI in CMS is used to enhance teaching and learning, not replace educators. We're also focusing on safe, responsible use by both staff and students. We've developed new grade-level specific digital citizenship and AI literacy lessons to teach students about AI and how to use it responsibly. Those resources are currently located on our Charlotte-Mecklenburg website at the link here, cmsk12.org/AI. This year, we're also launching our first cohort of AI champion schools. These schools will pilot innovative approaches that use AI to support instruction, improve learning outcomes, and streamline school operations. As we explore new opportunities, CMS is providing clear guidance on which AI tools are approved, how AI can and cannot be used on assignments, expectations around academic integrity, and how student and staff data is protected. Again, more information on our website. As we move forward with AI, our work is grounded in our AI vision and guiding principles located here. Those principles are built around our 4 pillars of excellence: academic, people, operational, and engagement excellence. But the student's experience in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, while supplemented with technology, first and foremost fosters strong interpersonal skills and relationships. If you hear your child's teachers or administrators talking about good things and social contracts, you know a pro-social framework is being enacted in your child's school. Designed to connect hearts before minds, our framework is implemented to build strong teacher-student relationships, to foster safe, respectful classroom culture, to promote whole child development, including life skills, and to encourage positive behavior and accountability. Next time your family sits down to enjoy a meal, ask your child for some good things and see how hearts connect by sharing with each other. Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools will be implementing a safety protocol this year called I Love You Guys. It refers to the last words texted from a daughter to her parents before losing her life in a serious school accident. This standard response protocol provides clear, consistent actions and language for schools to use in the event of an emergency. The protocol includes use of a common terminology, age-appropriate safety drills, transparent updates for parents during and after incidents, and collaboration with local emergency services. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools has a comprehensive code of conduct handbook outlining our expectations for students. It's linked on this slide and again available on our website. We encourage parents to review expectations with their child prior to the start of the school year. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about any portion of this handbook, please contact your child's school. On July 1st, very recently, House Bill 959 was passed at the state level, restricting the use of wireless devices during instructional time. In alignment with North Carolina General Statute 115C-76, CMS will comply with this state law by requiring personal technology devices to be turned off and put away during instructional times beginning this year in all schools, pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. Schools will provide guidance to students and families regarding the expectation and definition of off and away, as it is written in the legislation for devices during instructional time. Violations of the personal technology device expectations will receive consequences in accordance with our student code of conduct. The mission of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is to create an innovative, inclusive, student-centered environment that supports the development of independent learners. We understand recent federal orders may create uncertainty for some families, and we want to reassure you that our schools remain safe and welcoming spaces for all children. All children can attend public school, regardless of citizenship status. Our district has always followed federal and state laws and will continue to do so. School leaders know the procedures law enforcement must follow on campus and will consult with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Legal Department to ensure compliance with applicable laws. Additionally, our district does not ask about or record any family's immigration status. We will continue to honor all laws protecting the privacy of student records as outlined in board policies. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools remains committed and dedicated to maintaining safe and welcoming environments where every child can learn and succeed. If your child has concerns or needs support during this time, please contact your school's Student Services Department.
Now that you know what to do to get started for the 2025-26 school year, there are just a few other reminders that we would like to share. Students are required to be up to date in their immunizations, and kindergarten students must submit their health assessment. Please visit the district website at cms-k12.org/back-to-school to review those requirements. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is fortunate to be able to provide dental, health, and vision screening services for early detection information for parents. While these services are free, parents must opt in by completing a form. Visit, again, the district website at cms-k12.org/Parents Bill of Rights and click on the Health Screening Opt-in form. Families, get ready. The CMS open house events are next week. Elementary school open houses will take place on August 20th. Middle schools will hold their open house event on August 19th. High schools and pre-kindergarten through 8th grade schools will celebrate their open house on August 21st. Applications for free and reduced meals will be available on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools website. New applications must be submitted each school year. Last but certainly not least, we need you. We need all parents, all community members. We need you all to partner, volunteer, and engage with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. We absolutely cannot achieve endless possibilities for our students without you. So please join us in shaping the endless possibilities for the future of our students by signing up using the QR code located on this slide. And there are so many ways that you can contribute to the success of our students and staff by using the QR codes on this slide. This is a one-stop shop. You have all of the QR codes you could possibly ask for in this presentation. So let's make sure that you are checking out the Back to School website linked on this slide and located on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools website. More information is included there, including our top 10 things to know. We want you to have a successful start to the school year because endless possibilities for students to graduate, enrolled, enlisted, or employed start with CMS. And that concludes our presentation. Chair Sneed.
Thank you so much. Board members, usual cadence if you have questions about what's been presented.
Hi, I just had a quick question. So I know that you mentioned that like the Infinite Campus information went out to the parents, but I know myself, I'm a sucker for checking my grades all the time. And I've noticed that no information has come out to the students about any or signing up for all that. So I was wondering if you had an update on that communication process.
Sure. So that process will be starting with the beginning of school. We do encourage parents. Our goal right now is to make sure we've got all students registered, enrolled, and that we've got parents with their accounts ready to go for the start of the school year. And we will be focusing on communication to students so they'll know what to do to both be able to access any of our online platforms as we start the school year, as well as Infinite Campus. Thank you for that.
Sorry.
You may have mentioned this. Thank you for the presentation. Does Infinite Campus replace Parent Square?
It does not.
Okay.
And what we continue to want to communicate with our community is that Parent Square is our communication tool. So we're still going to use Parent Square to both communicate district-wide messaging, but also to communicate with teachers or schools. But Infinite Campus houses all of your students' information. So you would go to Infinite Campus, that app, to be able to see grades, attendance, any other information regarding your student. But Parent Square is what you would use if you're going to receive messages from the school or send messages back to your school, your child's school or teacher. Both will live together, as they did with Power School last year.
Got it, thanks.
Sure.
Board Member Easley.
Yes, I have two questions. So the first one I'm going to say is, you specifically mentioned when you're trying to find a Infinite Campus that you have to use your child's legal name. Power School, we are allowed to change that for our students, for students that go by different names for whatever reason. Is that going to be accepted, or are we going to be able to do that? Our parents are going to be able to do that in Infinite Campus?
What we'll need for you to do is any issues or concerns around what's currently in Infinite Campus need to be taken to the school's data manager. You can do that in one of two ways. You can call the school, or new this year, we have Let's Talk. So if you go to your child's web page, at the school web page on the website, then you'll see at the top right-hand corner a button that says Contact. When you click on Contact, a screen will pop up, and then you can enter a message directly into that form, and it will go to the school's data manager, and that data manager will be able to either respond electronically or be able to call you. So call the school or fill out the Let's Talk form. All of those concerns, questions would go through the data manager.
Thank you.
Go ahead. 1 second. Hang on.
Go
I just
for
want
it.
to do the first round first.
That's
That
my
was your
second
first one.
question,
Sorry,
so by all means, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, previous Power School came with historical data, former grades, EOG scores, those kind of things. And from what I have heard, now I have not seen Infinite Campus yet, but from what I have heard, that data is not in there currently. Is that something that's going to be added, or is that coming, or is that just not going to be a feature anymore?
Data all the way back to 2013 was cleaned up over the past of the course 6 to 8 months. All of that data still exists, so I don't want anyone to be worried. In fact, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools was given the accolade as having the cleanest data cleanup process across the state of North Carolina, of which we're very, very proud. As the state is still syncing all of the data across LEAs throughout the state of North Carolina. So data is still available. However, if it's not showing up in the way that you've normally seen it, for students and staff, we'll be doing training that will help everybody access what they need to. And then for parents, you can reach out to your child's data manager to have access to any student data that is needed.
So it will be coming district-wide, it's just rolling out. Okay, thank you.
If you could just
I'm done. Thank you.
hold on 1 second. I'm going to get to Board Member Nunn since we're doing our first round.
Thank you, Beth, for the questions. If people are having trouble with their information not working, or both parents not being able to log in because theirs are connected, who do they reach out to? Is that the tech person at the school if they're having trouble setting up the accounts, or with Parent Square?
Yes, that's going to be the data manager. What we're seeing right now is that most often when parents are struggling, they're able to create the account, but when they're trying to connect their child to the account or have both parents on the account, sometimes they're encountering issues. And that usually means that something needs to be updated in the system. Maybe an address has changed, or something has changed with something in a student's history. And so the same process would be followed. You can either call the school and ask for the data manager, or you can go to the school's webpage, click Contact in the top right-hand corner. That Let's Talk form will come up, fill in the information and what you need, and that will be routed directly to the school's data manager for a response. Thank you for that question.
Perfect. I also want to say huge kudos to being able to fill all the forms out online, too. I'm very excited about that.
That has been one of the, we had our Superintendent Parent Family Advisory Council meeting, and I felt people were going to jump for joy over Teams because they were so excited about that. It's a big win for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that's, any other question? Last one?
Yeah, so kind of just going off the technological issues, I've also heard that, yeah, parents are having trouble logging in, but it's also going off the fact that I think they like forget their password, and then I've heard that they're having trouble clicking the forgotten password button and then calling the school, but from what I've heard, so this was my mom. She's having issues. She's just wanting an answer for this question. But so basically, yeah, she forgot her password, and so she called the school, and she was like, hi, like there's no forgot your password button, and I guess the school has said that they have heard multiple questions about that, so I think there's a big confusion around that. And then also, I know you mentioned that it's going out to students on the first day of school, but I was wondering then how will you be able to check your schedule?
We'll follow up, not necessarily the first day of school, but we will have communication going out to students.
Okay, perfect.
And I'll look into that forgot password problem.
I was like, I feel so stupid asking that. But.
Yeah, well, what you're helping me know is that in our messaging over the next couple weeks, we need to make sure we say, and don't forget your password, write down your password so that we can remind everybody to do so. But again, it's the school's data manager that would be able to support that. And a huge thank you in advance to everybody for grace and patience as that data manager is receiving a lot of inquiries, but we're working on it and we'll have everybody ready to go by the first day. Thank you for your questions.
I think that is it. Thank you so much. And I turn to Dr. Hill for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening. My report tonight includes examples of excellence across our 4 pillars. For academics, I'm beginning with congratulating our summer graduates. We had more than 150 students who earned their high school diplomas on August 7th. We are incredibly proud of them and wish them the very best. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools proudly launched Camp CMS 2025 in July, which is a dynamic, tuition-free summer learning experience designed to promote academic growth for students and professional development for educators. We were able to serve rising kindergarten through 12th grade students, and it offered 3 key components: academic enrichment, credit recovery, and educator development. We served close to 8,000 students and engaged more than 1,000 teachers and teacher assistants across 35 sites. Camp CMS was more than just a summer initiative. It represented our district's unwavering commitment to academic excellence, educator empowerment, and student success year-round. For academic enrichment, elementary and middle school students engaged in interactive, rigorous instruction aligned with the 25-26 curriculum. In other words, we were front-loading them with new content they would receive and not remediating old content. This early exposure to upcoming grade-level content ensured students were well prepared for the next academic year. While K-8 students explored future learning, high school students focused on staying on track towards graduation through credit recovery. Critical end-of-course subjects, including Math 1, English 2, Math 3, and Biology, were delivered in person, emphasizing mastery of essential standards. Non-EOC courses were completed virtually, providing flexible options to meet students' academic needs. Camp CMS also expanded on its impact through a unique educator development model. Teachers participated in job-embedded professional development, co-teaching opportunities, and live coaching sessions with district leaders. Professional learning communities were formed both in individual schools and across Camp CMS sites, which enabled educators to collaborate on grade and content-specific strategies that elevate instructional practice. Leadership development was a key feature of this summer's program. Camp CMS site coordinators served in principal-like roles, and they had to do all of the recruiting, all of the onboarding, and they had to lead their site teams from March through July. This experience offered a meaningful leadership pipeline for aspiring school administrators within Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. For People Excellence, we'd like to say again, welcome to our early and middle college staff. They started last week and the first day of school for them was yesterday. They're already off to an amazing school year. Also really excited about new staff participating in the Crown Academy, which is our district's signature onboarding event that welcomes new teachers to Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. Beginning with sessions last week, we've welcomed more than 700 teachers to the district. Crown Academy is a 3-week intensive designed to acclimate teachers to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. We focus on our placemat, which includes the board's mission, vision, core beliefs, goals, and guardrails, and our 4 pillars of excellence. We also focused on procedures, policies, and best practices. I had the opportunity to be with our new teachers this morning, and man, we hit the jackpot. They're an amazing group of teachers. We're really excited about our top 10 things to know, which was already covered, so I'm going to skip that part. For engagement, I would like to thank Dr. Medlock and our entire team for our annual Back to School event. We had several board members attend. We had over 15,000 attendees at Truist Field, and it was an amazing event where students got everything they needed to be ready for the first day of school. Finally, as the year begins, I want to remind everyone of our open houses that was already previously covered in the report. And finally, Madam Chair, I am so thrilled about our new police chief, Mr. Jonathan Thomas. So, Mr. Thomas, if you would come down and stand right here so everybody can see you, I'm going to say some really nice things about you. Chief Thomas joins us with 27 and a half years of experience at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, CMPD. During his tenure with CMPD, Chief Thomas rose through the ranks as officer, sergeant, lieutenant, and captain before being promoted to major in 2022, where he led high-level investigations and managed special operations in concert with national agencies like the FBI, DEA, ATF, and Homeland Security. He served as the CMPD commander for Hurricane Helene relief, coordinated search and rescue and relief efforts with local authorities and FEMA. Chief Thomas also coordinated security for high-level events in Charlotte, including more than 25 presidential candidate visits, the NBA All-Star Game, and Billy Graham's funeral, which was attended by more than 200 dignitaries. He has also completed numerous FEMA management training courses focused on various topics, including crowd management for sporting events and mass casualty incident management. He also completed Homeland Security certification courses at Michigan State University. Chief Thomas earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, a master's degree in business administration from Pfeiffer University, and a master's certification in law enforcement management from the FBI National Academy. Please join me in welcoming Chief Jonathan Thomas to Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. And Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Board members, it is now time for your reports. Board member Easley has her hand up first.
All right, ready? First, welcome back to all of our students, families, and staff. Today, I realize this is the beginning of my 14th year in CMS. I've seen firsthand of how our administrators, teachers, and support staff have worked to get ready for the school year. Teachers return on Monday, and we're excited to see students back in the hallways. Parents and students, you've got this, and I want a quick shout out from what we've been talking about today is make sure that you go back to visit the CMS Back to School website for calendars, transportation, and supply information. I also want to send out a quick shout out to sign up for my newsletter at easily4cms.com. In each edition, I break down board updates, funding news, policy changes in plain language, so students, educators, and community members can stay informed and engaged. Since their season ended so close to the end of the school year last year, we did not get the opportunity to recognize the Mallard Creek High School men's track and field team for their outstanding achievement, winning the state championship for the last three consecutive seasons. In 2024, they brought home their first indoor 4A state title, completed nationally at the Florida Relays, and finished the year by winning the 2025 Outdoor 4A State Championship. So congratulations to our student athletes and their coaches. Finally, this weekend is Charlotte Pride, and a group of current, retired, and former teachers will be in the parade along with Gus the Bus. So make sure you keep an eye out for Gus rolling through Uptown. A huge thank you to our students, staff, and teachers who made it happen. And our shirts were designed by a retired CMS teacher. So a very huge collaboration on that. So this concludes my board report.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. People kept saying that school starts 2 months away, then it's 1 month away, but now it's time that we start school. I know it's scary getting back into that stressful time, but it's also, think of it as a fresh start. It's a time to meet new people, set new goals, and try new things. So let's make this school year the best one yet. And when I say this to both students and myself to not procrastinate that summer reading. And also, if you see me sitting here and you're like, oh, I want to do that, well, maybe you should try. Applications for my position, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Student Advisor, open the first day of school. So if you have any interest at all in civic engagement, give it a try, because what's the worst thing that could happen? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members?
Yeah, I just want to say welcome back to the great year that I know we're going to have. I always want to thank all of the teachers, the staff, all of those in this room that make this happen every year. The first day of school is an exciting time. Someone mentioned how many years. I don't even know if I can say how many years I've been with CMS. Over 40. And it has been remarkable when you talk about the first day of school. That excitement is always there. And I think about the kindergartner coming for the first time. I think about the sixth graders starting middle school for the first time, and the ninth graders starting high school for the first time. All those transitions. But I know teachers and staff, you got it. You're ready for them. You don't want it to be just the first day great, but the rest of the year. A great experience. They're engaged, they're learning, and they're ready for a new adventure. So I thank you to everyone in this room, of course, and all of the teachers and staff that's going to make it happen that first day. And we're not going to lose any children either. I was a kindergarten principal and had to worry about that. And I want to ask the parents to please stay engaged. You are your child's first teacher. We need you. You've heard all about the back to school information, but we need you engaged not just the first day of school. We need you engaged every day to the last day of school. And to see those seniors, if you're on your way to 12th grade, parents, it's not just kindergartners you worry about. You worry about that 12th grader. And I know that feeling. I've been there. And I'm even worried about the grandbaby and how that's going to happen, right? So school is just so important. And I thank you for the work that everyone does to make sure education is a cornerstone to everything that happens in our lives. Thank you.
Board member none? No, oh, okay. I thought I just wanted to be sure. Was your ranking?
Sure. Welcome back to all of our students, educators, staff, and community partners. We're excited for the start of the new school year, and I have high expectations for the success of our district. I know our staff has been working tirelessly throughout the summer to ensure our students return to an environment that fosters both learning and high achievement. I also want to reaffirm that our schools are safe. Our schools are safe. Our staff has been trained and equipped to respond to any situation with clear protocols in place, including guidance on interactions with law enforcement. And that includes ICE, okay? Safety remains a top priority in our districts for our students and our staff. I just want to make sure we address some of the comments that were made today. Our schools are safe, there are protocols that are put in place, and ICE cannot just come and set up on our campuses. What happens is if they don't have a warrant or a subpoena, they must leave our campuses. So just to be clear, all the proper protocols have been put in place, and our district has made sure that those have been cascading down from the top all the way down to the school level. Okay, now to our students, enjoy these last few days of summer. To our educators and staff, take some time to rest and recharge. And thank you for your commitment educating our students. I'm truly looking forward to a great year ahead. Thank you.
All right. Board member Monterey DeVon.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I want to echo Vice Chair Rankin's sentiments. I want to be clear, ICE cannot freely enter CMS campuses. I was devastated that the media took this and turned it into something that it was not. It was a well-intentioned training, part of existing protocols. And what we don't need is more fear in this community that's already very afraid. So I want to be very clear that we don't ask about immigration status. We protect the privacy of our student records. Every person on this board or in this right now, we've had conversations within not violating open meeting laws, but we've had long conversations about ICE and how it impacts students. And I can tell you that everyone here deeply cares about our students, about our staff and protecting them. But the reality is that we didn't create this. This comes from the federal and state, and that is where our anger and frustration should go to, not the local school board who now has to deal with this unjust, unfair treatment of citizens that don't harm us in any kind of way. But I want to say that thank you to Dr. Hill and the school staff, because families can review these procedures on our website. It's on the main page of the website where we have a statement on immigration and custom enforcement. Dr. Hill and her team worked on a regulation. You can go to that regulation, O-ELX-R. We are doing better, if not equal, to school districts across the country. Trust me, I have spoken to school districts, to superintendents, to other board members around the country, and we are probably doing a lot more than most. And you can challenge me on that because I have receipts like I always do, and I can tell you that we are doing a lot for our students. And maybe some of it is behind the scenes that you don't know, but we have amazing leadership here with Chair Sneed and Vice Chair Rankin, and everyone on the board that cares. So please know that, and have a great year.
Board Member Quinn.
I'm going to switch gears just for a second. Last night, I ran into an extraordinary lady. Her name is Rachel Williams, and she taught first grade at Old Providence Elementary School for over 30 years. When I gave her my son's name, she remembered him, which surprised me. But then she started talking about all of his classmates and remembered specific details about different children over the years. Rachel took the most reluctant learners and made school fun and engaging. Conversely, she took students who already had it together in first grade and challenged them to go further. Rachel retired 32 years ago, but she is still remembered and loved and seen as a legend in the community and in the school. When you hear her name or say her name, they say there's never been another Rachel. So with the school year beginning, I'm asking every teacher in this district to be a Rachel Williams. You hold the minds and hearts of the children in your hands. Be that teacher who a 39-year-old man remembers and said, is she still here? Because she made learning real and fun. Have a wonderful year. You touched the hearts and minds of all of our children, and we thank you.
I think that I'll have the final comment for this evening. I've had some wonderful opportunities these past few weeks. The back-to-school fair at the Truist Stadium was amazing to see all our families, community partners, CMS staff coming together to make sure our students start the year prepared, not just with school supplies, but fun, encouragement, and opportunities post-CMS. CMS convocation as well for our leaders, where we saw a sneak peek in about the future successes of our students, teachers, and administrators. My greatest joy was last Friday. At 11 p.m., I met a CMS graduate in a circle in front of this building as he prepared to go to my alma mater, Howard University. I gave him my energy of my why. As he was leaving with confidence, ambition, and purpose, And he hugged me genuinely to say thank you. And how in his experience at CMS. So Chase Howard, thank you for meeting me here at 11 p.m. on last Friday, so I could be the last CMS official to see him off on his next journey. So these experiences remind me that our platform comes with responsibility, not only to act, but to speak truth in this age when misinformation can spread quickly, trust can be undermined. Every person that sits around this dais, that's the staff that's in this room, have an obligation to provide hope and clear and accurate information to correct falsehoods when we see them. The integrity of our work and the state of our community depends on it. This is without personal agendas and without weariness. And as I'm reminded of this, as I attended the homegoing services last week as well, of legal giant attorney James Ferguson, whose office and home was firebombed, fighting for our students. We cannot be weary. So this school year, we got to commit ourselves to moving forward a legacy of resilience, equity, of excellence, and hope, while fighting against those things that weaken our community and our education system. We have an obligation to do this. We cannot be tired, because there are great things happening and we have great students. So I'm looking forward to this school year. I know that our teachers and staff, our educators, we're all committed to the excellence. And every student is excellent. Every student is a part of the CMS family. So with that being said, there's no further business. This meeting is adjourned.